Should I just stay with you because you're crying and I feel bad, or should I look out for what I really want in life?
Netflix's new reality show, The Ultimatum, is expected to get really spicy, and we're going to break down the trailer. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Shared News. We are here to get all into The Ultimatum, but before we do that, you guys know the drill. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on any future updates. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by Allison Van Dam. And Allison, this new show, The Ultimatum, is going to put couples to the test who have an ultimatum in their relationship. What are your first initial thoughts? Because we've been talking about this show a little bit for the last few weeks, but now it is finally here.
I'm so excited that we have something to fill our time in between Love is Blind 2 and After the Altar, because obviously we've all been talking about Love is Blind. We're so excited for After the Altar, Love is Blind 3. I think they even said we'd have 4 or 5. So the fact that this is, from the same creators in the same vein, I think it's going to be just as juicy. And the whole premise just has me very excited. I love drama when I'm not involved in it and I can just kind of watch it from my couch. So this is right up my alley.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why I love doing what we do here. I love to talk about the drama without actually getting involved. I mean, sometimes I get myself involved, but for the most part, it's more fun to comment on it. And you're right, we definitely need a show right now. I feel like I'm missing a show that is just like captivating all of my attention with no Bachelor, no Love is Blind. The Housewives are fun, but they don't always do it for me because it's kind of repetitive. So this show, we have high hopes for, and The Ultimatum is going to set these couples up like never before. They're going to put them to the test. The series will premiere on Netflix April 7th and is expected to have higher stakes than Love is Blind. And Nick said to E! Online, Nick Lachey, he says, it's going to sound weird about this new social experiment series, but the stakes almost feel a little higher in Ultimatum because these are people who have been together for a period of time, versus Love is Blind, where they're just meeting for the first time. So there's not as much to lose. These couples have been dating for a few years. So let's take a look at this first clip.
I love you to death, but I just cannot wait any longer. That is why I'm giving this ultimatum.
You're here because someone in your relationship has issued an ultimatum.
Ooh, okay, Allison, what are our first thoughts here?
Is it too soon to say I'm already hooked? Maybe. I think this is something that a lot of couples go through. Like I have a lot of girlfriends, relatives, cousins who one thing or another, whether it's, getting married, getting engaged, having kids, moving, like these are real life struggles that a lot of couples go through, especially after they're out of the honeymoon phase and they're trying to make life work several years in. So I think it's really interesting that we're creating a show not about, like you said, like meeting people and falling in love, but they've already done that. They've already met, they've fallen in love, and now they are still, having issues. They're having real life struggles. And yeah, now it's a little more drama and we're putting a twist on it, but I just think it's so interesting and unique compared to a lot of the other formulas that we've seen across various platforms, like for many, many years.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think what we're assuming from this is that the ultimatum is going to be that one person wants to get married, get engaged, do that whole thing, and then another person in the relationship is not really wanting that. A lot of people don't want to get married these days. I'm sure there's some couples who one person wants to have kids, another person doesn't. So it's going to be really, fascinating and telling for these couples because if they can make it through this experiment on the other side, they'll probably be stronger than ever. But there's no doubt in my mind, Allison, this is Netflix reality TV. A few of these couples are going to have really rough breakups, and I'm sure there will be at least one couple that has to come to an end, and it'll be so sad. They know how to really tear out our heartstrings. So let's keep going because this experiment seems a little risky.
You're not sure you want to marry your current partner. The risk is that they're going to find someone else who is.
I think it's natural to wonder what it would be like to be in a different relationship.
Ooh, so it sounds like there might be an opportunity for these couples to date around and see if there are other people on the show or that they kind of bring in that they're interested in to just get a taste of what it's like to be with someone else and not their partner. Is this a recipe for disaster?
Yes. And I was going to pose a question back to you. Like, let's say either of us are in a relationship, let's say for several years, and we want to get married and our partner doesn't, or vice versa. I think the last thing that the relationship would need at that point is to go on television and maybe have other people being involved with it. Like if I had a partner tell me, we get married or we're done, That's already putting me in a tough spot. I don't like that. And then they tell me that we're going to go on a reality show and they might want to experiment with other people. I would just be done with them at that point. But what do you think? Because I would just be like, great, you want someone else? Go get someone else. Bye.
I have a feeling that the couples on this show might not have known exactly what they signed up for when they signed up. I think that because it is the first season of the Ultimatum, they probably didn't know all the rules until they signed the contracts and got there. So I kind of think with that mentality that some of these couples didn't know that going in, and maybe they do start to talk or possibly date other people. They can feel things out, and it's not necessarily cheating. They're just kind of getting to know other people to see if there is an opportunity. And I think that's okay in a couple. If you've been with someone for 4 or 5 years and you are just curious, what it would be like without that person, but you don't want to end it, I'm not entirely mad at some of these people if they want to just explore that. They're going to have open communication with their partner, especially if it gets physical or even emotional. But I think it's okay to just kind of feel things out. So I'm excited to see what happens with the couples. And I mean, it's a reality show, so I think they all kind of are a little crazy to sign up to begin with, even if they didn't know all the rules, Allison. So we'll have to just keep watching this trailer and see what else we know. And then I want to hear your next take because things are going to get even weirder on this show. So just wait. Let's take a look.
You'll each choose a new partner.
You'll move in together in a trial marriage. And at the end of this experience,
You guys will have to choose to marry the person you've arrived here with, or to split forever.
So now the stakes are even higher, which kind of even goes crazier than what I just said. They're not just going to explore. They're about to move in with someone else. They're already here on the show. They can't just leave. They signed the contract to stay. They're a part of the experiment. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, trial marriage is, I guess, something we've seen on Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiance, Married at First Sight, or at least a trial engagement. You could even say with The Bachelor at that point. But a trial marriage with someone else while your partner is there doing a trial marriage with someone else with them, like it's so. I'm ready. When does this begin? Because I'm hooked. This is chaos, and I love it.
No, I'm really hoping that everyone gets hooked because I think it is a really good concept and we all need a Netflix show right now. We don't have one at the moment. It does seem a little crazy. I'm wondering if they're able to communicate with their partner like I suggested they do, because if they're living with someone else, and maybe they don't have their phones, how are they going to tell their partner what's going on? And what if they end up sleeping together with somebody else? So it sounds like they're going to be mix and matching with the couples that are already there. So we don't know if the people are going to get to choose which couples, which person they're interested in, or if Nick and Vanessa have already pre-assigned based on matchmaking and their research and everything, which people are meant to be. I mean, this is going to cause a lot of jealousy. Do you think it could work out for any of these couples?
I think so. I think it could work out in the way of definitely wanting to end with someone else because, like we discussed before, it's the honeymoon phase. It's the new part. You're trying your hardest. Everything's new and exciting. Now, who's to say that maybe they don't rematch with someone else on the show, get 3 or 4 years into their relationship and reach the same point that they started with, of one of them wanting to get married and the other one doesn't. And then maybe they can go on The Ultimatum season 6. But I think it's definitely possible to kind of get wrapped up in the idea of someone else, the fantasy of someone else, and not necessarily take into account, oh, my other relationship might have started out this way, because the real world is very hard. It's easy to, get into the Netflix lifestyle and the aluminum wine glasses and just live your best life. But who's to say it doesn't completely fall apart the second that you just get back to your day to day?
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to communicate with their partner while they're talking to someone else. I kind of predict that Nick and Vanessa are going to do couples therapy sessions. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. But let's keep watching the trailer and see what else we can pick up, because we really don't know exactly how this is going to go down yet.
Today we get to move in with someone completely different.
Living with a guy that's not you will be a weird change.
How do you feel about me sleeping in the bed?
Are you nervous to meet my dad?
Hopefully don't grill me too hard. Hey.
This is the first time I felt like, okay, this guy's okay.
Wow, so it's one step further. You're not just going to do this trial marriage and live with someone, you're going to meet families as well, which is going to get even more complicated. It sounds like they really want these couples to fully know what it's like to be in a trial marriage with someone else, which I think will be good for the one person in the relationship that maybe doesn't want to get married versus the person that, does and is giving the ultimatum. So they'll really get to see, is it just the person you are with that you're not ready for marriage with, or is it just in general you're not ready for marriage at all and you don't want that?
No, definitely. And I think the meeting the family things can also complicate it because let's say you decide to stick with the person you started the experiment with. Oh, I missed you so much. You are my soulmate. But what if they never got along with your parents to begin with? And then you go to the next family reunion or Sunday dinner and your dad is like, oh, I really wish she would have ended up with the other guy. Like, this is dangerous because if they're planting seeds of someone else and maybe they get along better with their friends or family, that could kind of plant a seed for insecurity and other things to grow as you continue your relationship. So it's definitely going to rock the boat.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get really messy. These couples are expected to go through a lot. As I mentioned in the beginning, Nick and Vanessa said it's more complicated than Love is Blind. So let's keep watching.
From what he said about you, I was not happy about this at all.
This is our first morning back together. We came here as a couple, but it's about figuring out what's best as individual people.
It's gonna get really tough and dramatic. Wow. I mean, this feels a little bit more of like a mature show, which is kind of the vibes Love is Blind gave off. I feel like these people are a little bit older than what we see on other reality dating shows. Do you think that will play into the drama? Because it sounds like it's going to be more real life drama versus like the petty stuff we see on Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, I get that vibe as well. It feels less constructed and maybe less produced because, again, they came in with these problems they're trying to push through and fix or decide to end their relationship. So I think even if there's drama, it'll bring in a lot of viewers because I think more people can relate to it. Like, how many people can relate to being at a mansion in California with 25 other girls vying for a man's attention? Not really, but you could definitely relate with debating ending things with your partner, wondering about someone else. Like, I think they're hitting on really key emotions that will bring in a lot of people and I think get people very hooked in this series.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of these couples, since they're mixed matching, will probably bond over the fact that some of them are ready for marriage and some of them aren't. So if they are mix and matching with, the person in the relationship who is on the same page with them about marriage, then maybe they are a better fit and maybe we'll get like couples that didn't come in together but are going to come out together. And I mean, that's just going to create so much jealousy. I can already see the reunion here of people being so mad that their partner moved on to someone else on the show. The friendships are going to be tested as well because of that. If these people do bond, like you said, when they, go through a similar experience, they usually bond. It's just going to get really messy. Let's keep watching.
I'm trying to figure out if this person I'm about to get reconnected with, does she understand that I am who she really wants?
Should I just stay with you because you're crying and I feel bad, or should I look out for what I really want in life?
Yeah, this is where it gets kind of sad because it seems like some of these couples have reached the point in the relationship where they love their partners so much, but they can't give them what they want, and it's just not aligning for their future. The love is still there, but like the logical side is just not there anymore because they want different things. How hard do you think it's going to be for these couples to just be so vulnerable and open on camera? And do you think it will benefit them in the end, especially after watching it back?
I think there's definitely benefit to be had. I mean, obviously, any type of show like this where you are not only encouraged, but almost like required to talk about your emotions, dig deep, really figure out what wasn't working in your relationship, I think can be really helpful. It's almost like therapy in that way. And then having another experience that can kind of compare or contrast your current relationship, that's always like a nugget of knowledge, I guess, and can help them there. But I do think it's going to create a lot of insecurity, a lot of doubts. I'm not sure that I could get ready to get engaged with my partner having known that they were sleeping in someone else's bed for the last who knows amount of time. Like it it might illuminate things, but it could also cloud a lot of things as well. So I feel like it's a double-edged sword of just bringing someone else into your relationship. It could be good, it could be bad. I think it really depends on the foundation of the couple when they started and maybe how severe the ultimatum was, maybe how severe their differences were around getting married. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see.
And I also think the couples are going to have to talk before they, do this trial marriage, like about cheating, about like communication, emotional cheating. I know things will happen naturally when you get to know someone else, but it's just like if you do not want your man or your woman hooking up with someone else during this trial marriage, you need to let that be known. And I also wonder if they'll have the opposite conversation and be like, all right, try things out. If you need to have sex with someone else to know that you really love me, just do it and let me know how it goes. And let's, full on do this trial marriage. It really depends on the couple and the boundaries they set. I don't think I could ever do this show. I'm on the same page with you. Like, if we're having problems, we don't need to go to a reality show to solve it. We need to just figure it out in therapy. But that's why I said I think Nick and Vanessa will do therapy with them, but that's just a prediction. So let's take a look at how that is going to go.
It was the best moment of my life.
This is how a marriage should feel.
He's falling for somebody else. Leave! Walk!
It is now time to make a decision. Are you ready to make your choice?
Anything I say, you never listen.
The arguments are happening, but are they happening with the person in their trial marriage, or are they happening with their real partner? It also looks like there's going to be rings. So do you think we'll get a proposal at the end of this?
I think it's definitely possible. My question to whoever said this is what a true marriage should feel like is, okay, I guess we're on a trial marriage basis. We're living together, but we also heard in another clip someone saying it's going to be so weird living with someone who's not you. So clearly a lot of these couples are already living together. So what differentiates the time that they're spending with their new partner as like a marriage compared to living with the partner that they started this experiment with? I guess I'm just curious of like how they'll know that this is somehow different if they're just kind of, it feels like they're just living together and dating unless there are certain marital things that are going on during this experiment.
The family.
But I guess I guess, but you would have already met the family with the person you're dating as well. So I guess my biggest question is, how do you know this is so different than who you were with and that it's what a marriage should feel like if it's kind of just the same, but whatever. And I definitely think we're going to get proposals. Maybe it'll be similar to Love is Blind, where they go to the altar and you don't know what the other person is going to say. Kind of like Bachelor finales as well. You show up with a ring, not knowing if the Bachelor or Bachelorette, depending on what season it is, feels the same way as you do. So I definitely think that's going to be a time to create a lot of drama if they're showing up to this proposal scene not really knowing what their partner is thinking or feeling, because maybe they have been in isolation and they haven't had time to discuss exactly what feelings are going on.
Yeah, the biggest drama will be if somebody like denies a proposal or if another couple gets engaged when they didn't come into the show together. It's gonna get really messy. We have one last clip and then we will give our final predictions for the new show that comes April 7th. So let's take a look.
Listen, I don't think that all they did is kiss. What the did you just say to me?
Take these wires off me.
Wow. That is truly insane. Marry or Move On. Only on Netflix, April 6th, not the 7th. I stand corrected on that one. Marry or Move On. I mean, they've obviously reached this point in their relationship where it's not working and they're not getting what they want, the couple. So they are going to have to make this decision. Do they want to get married or do they not want to get married? And maybe the couples who like don't want to get married, like the partners, they should just be together and never get married since that's not what they want. What are your final predictions? What are you most looking forward to seeing? And what questions do you have for the new show?
I'm most excited to see how the flip-flops work. I also have, again, the questions of if they can communicate with the partner they came into. I think from a relationship being healthy standpoint, it would be great if they could do some check-ins. I think from a drama TV standpoint, I wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of left each other in the dark. I'm going to say that 3 couples get engaged at the end, 2 of which started together and 1 of which is new. And then the rest of the couples just kind of like walk away or leave or maybe like try and date in the real world. But I'm not sure why those numbers are sticking out to me, but that's going to be my final prediction.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good guess. I definitely want to see one couple who came in together get engaged because I'm sure we'll fall in love with them in the beginning. And then I definitely want to see a flip-flop. So I think 3 engagements is a pretty good bet. I think Netflix will provide the rings and kind of encourage a few of them because we know how the more proposals, the more dramatic the ending is. So let us know what you guys think about the new Netflix reality show, The Ultimatum. Comment down below your predictions. And that is everything we have to share with you guys today. So before you go, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by Allison Van Dam. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow. Come pick our brains. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.